So 5 days, over 1,800 runs, two teams that had moments of complete dominance, and in the end, neither side was willing to surrender. This was not just a test match. This was a battle of endurance, patience, and character. Sri Lanka arrived in Antigua looking to continue their momentum. They built a mountain. West Indies looked buried, but instead of collapsing, they fought. They absorbed pressure. They responded. And when the final ball was bowled, the scoreboard showed a draw. But the story behind this match was far more exciting than the result itself, because this test had everything: brilliant batting, momentum shifts, and a reminder of why Test cricket remains the ultimate examination of a cricketer. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Cricket With Fido Plus. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. In this channel here we go, we analyze the scoreboard, we analyze the momentum, the decision, and the performances that actually shape a cricket match. So this wasn't a test decided by one session. It was a test that changed direction multiple times. Sri Lanka controlled the opening 2 days. West Indies fought back brilliantly. Sri Lanka pushed for victory, and West Indies showed the resilience it needed to survive. Let's go through the story. So at the beginning of this test, everything pointed towards the West Indies' advantage. Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to bat, but the early exchanges belonged to West Indies. The West Indies bowlers attacked with discipline. Jaden Seals found movement, Shamal Joseph brought energy and aggression, and Alzari Joseph created pressure. And suddenly Sri Lanka were struggling at 25 for a loss of 2 wickets. This was the moment where West Indies had the opportunity to take complete control. But Test cricket is about how teams respond after pressure arrives. And Sri Lanka found the answer through Udara and Mendes. The partnership between these two changed everything. Udara played one of the defining innings of this match, 188 runs. That was not just a big score, that was a statement. He showed patience against the new ball, controlled the tempo, and punished mistakes when West Indies offered opportunities. Mendes provided the perfect support. His 84 was equally important because it allowed Sri Lanka to move from survival mode into dominance. And by the end of day one, Sri Lanka had reached 338 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. West Indies had started strongly, but Sri Lanka recovered brilliantly. Day 2 was where Sri Lanka transformed a good position into a commanding one. So the biggest mistake teams make in Test cricket is believing the job is done after one good day. Sri Lanka did not make that mistake. They continued building. Every partnership added pressure. Every run made West Indies' task harder. Eventually, Sri Lanka declared on 549 for 9 wickets. That number tells you the quality of their batting. But what it doesn't show is how the psychological impact. West Indies had spent almost 2 full days in the field. Their bowlers had worked extremely hard, and now the batsmen had to walk out knowing they were facing an enormous challenge. At this stage of the test, many people believed Sri Lanka were on their way to victory, but cricket has a way of changing the script. So West Indies finished day 2 at 58 for the loss of 1 wicket. It's not a huge score, but it was an important one because they survived. They avoided disaster, and in Test cricket, survival creates belief. The question was whether they could build on that foundation. So this was a turning point of the Test match. West Indies was staring at a massive deficit. They needed someone to stand up, and they found 2 players who produced exactly that. In Shai Hope and Justin Greaves. This partnership changed the entire mood of the match. Hope showed why experience mattered. He didn't rush. He didn't chase unnecessary runs. He trusted his technique. He understood that the first battle was against time, and Justin Greaves was equally important. In his innings, he showed maturity and confidence. Together, they started taking the pressure away from Sri Lanka. The visitors had dominated for 2 days, but suddenly they were forced into defensive fields. They were searching for answers. This is the beauty of Test cricket. Momentum is never permanent, so it has to be earned every session. By day 4, West Indies had turned what looked like a one-sided contest into a genuine battle. The innings was built around resilience. Shai Hope produced a magnificent century, and Justin Greaves delivered a career-defining performance with 180 runs. These were not just runs; these were statements. Statement that West Indies could fight. Statement that this batting lineup had the ability to absorb pressure. When West Indies were eventually dismissed for 499 runs, they had reduced the deficit dramatically, and Sri Lanka had the advantage, but the confidence had shifted. The match that looked finished was suddenly alive again. Okay, so Sri Lanka understood they needed to create enough time to force a result. So they declared their second innings on 251 runs for 9 wickets. That gave West Indies a target of 302 runs to get. On paper, that was a difficult chase, but the bigger question was time. Could Sri Lanka take 10 wickets? Could West Indies survive? That became the final battle. The final day belonged to survival. West Indies knew exactly what they had to do, what they needed to do actually, and they didn't need to chase recklessly. They needed to survive. They needed to stay alive. So John Campbell and Brandon King provided the perfect response. They showed patience, they trusted their defense, they respected good bowling, and most importantly, they denied Sri Lanka the early breakthrough they desperately needed. The partnership remained unbeaten. West Indies finished 109 runs without loss, and the match ended in a draw, but the result does not fully explain what happened. This is a tactical breakdown. So what can we learn from this test? For Sri Lanka, the biggest positive was their batting depth. They showed the ability to recover from pressure and build huge total. Udara's 188 was the foundation. Their bowling attack also created enough chances throughout the match, but the challenge was finishing the job. Once West Indies found confidence, Sri Lanka struggled to create consistent pressure. For West Indies, the biggest positive was character. The way they responded after falling behind showed maturity. The innings from Hope and Greaves will be remembered because they changed the story of the match, and the final day resistance from Campbell and King showed composure. Now let's get into Fido's verdict. This is my favorite part of the analysis, guys. The scorecard says match drawn, but my verdict says this was a test match won by resilience. Sri Lanka were the better team for large parts of this game. They scored 549 runs. They controlled the opening stages. They created the pressure, but West Indies showed something equally important, and that was fight. They refused to accept defeat. They found players willing to stand up when the team needed them the most, and that is what makes Test cricket special. A team can be behind. A team can be under pressure. A team can look defeated. But until the final wicket falls, the story is not finished. So this match belonged to both teams. Sri Lanka showed quality, West Indies showed character, and cricket fans were reminded once again why the longest formats remain the ultimate test. What a test match. What was your biggest moment? Was it Udara's 188? Was it Shai Hope and Justin Greaves' incredible fight back? Or was it John Campbell and Brandon King's final day resistance? Let me know in the thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel. For more match analysis, hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we post or upload. We don't just tell you what happened, we explain it. And this is Fido saying out.